you can see how that just blows the calorie idea out, that the calories in equals calories out. Everything's the same.
Ha! I mean, really? Oh, that just blows the calories in, calories out equation out of the water. It proves it. How did it prove anything? It proves you're a moron. Coach Greg, in today's video, Dr. Tim Spector, Dr. Genius, top 100 authors in the world, knows so much. Well, he's debating Coach Greg, and it's about calories in, calories out. And obviously you all know that I'm right and that he's wrong. But we're going to have a debate anyway. And so I've watched the entire video, and I do think he gets it. He just doesn't know how to explain it. And so he confused himself a little bit. But that's okay. It's Coach Greg. I used to be a teacher, taught children. And so I'm sure Dr. Spencer, he can watch this video, and even he'll understand it. Yay, Dr. Spencer.
One of my friends, he eats Domino's pizzas all the time. He eats like a real, processed food diet, but then says to me it's all about calorie counting.
A lot to unpack here. And so the way that the interviewer phrases it, he's got a friend and he eats Domino's and junk processed food all the time. That it's just calories in, calories out. But to be honest, my friend, he hasn't really lost any weight. And so it can't be calories in, calories out, because he's eating junk food, he's counting the calories, but he's not losing weight. So it can't work, right? Well, he's counting calories that are too much. If you're not losing weight, you need to eat less calories or burn more of them off. That is non-negotiable. At least in this universe, in Bart K's universe, blah, 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 it can work. But I don't know where that universe is. It's in some parallel bizarro world. But in my universe here on Earth, calories in, calories out will always work. And so if you're just eating Domino's pizza and you eat less Domino's pizza, you will lose weight. But there's a big difference between losing weight and being healthy. I never said calories in, calories out. That's all you need to do to be healthy. So long as you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to be healthy. Of course not. That's ridiculous. If you're always in a deficit, you don't have enough energy to survive.
But what is your view on calorie counting and this idea that weight loss or being healthy is just about having a calorie deficit?
It's complete nonsense.
Thank you.
And so I agree with him on that point, that it's complete nonsense that weight loss and being healthy is all about calorie balance. It's not. I don't think anyone would debate me. To get your fruits, your vegetables, your fiber, your minerals, vitamins, macro, micronutrients, all of it's important. But he's wrong about this.
There's never been any long-term study showing that calorie counting is an effective way to lose weight and maintain weight loss after the first few weeks.
Never, ever, ever been a study that long-term weight loss can occur from being in a calorie deficit. That calories in, calories out can work. There has in fact been lots of evidence showing it's all about calorie balance. It's about calories in versus calories out, and it's balance.
Yes, very strict calorie counting. If you deprive yourself for a few weeks, you will lose some weight.
And so according to this, if you are overweight right now and you start tracking your calories, you could lose weight for a couple weeks, but then after you can't. Really? Well, say you track your calories and you stop losing weight and you're at maintenance again. If you reduce your calories yet again, or you start adding more cardio, as in you alter the calorie in, calorie out equation, you will continue to lose weight. If it wasn't true, we could stop eating and survive. Imagine, you just don't eat, you become efficient. Could you still survive? Of course not. You need to eat. And so if you reduce your calorie intake below the amount you're taking in, you are in fact going to lose weight. It applies because of the laws of thermodynamics.
Evolutionary mechanisms will make you hungry and hungrier every week you go by where you're depriving yourself of energy. Your body will go into sort of shutdown mode, your metabolism slows down.
And so what he's saying is if you count your calories and you reduce them, your hunger is going to increase and you're eventually going to eat more. I don't disagree. Of course it is. We all have hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin. And if you're depriving yourself of calories, ghrelin, the hunger hormone, it goes up. If you eat too many calories, extra calories, you get more leptin, makes you less hungry. Think of it. After you've eaten a massive buffet meal, are you as hungry as before you ate it? No. You have more leptin. You're more full. You don't want to eat. And what he's saying also is that your metabolism can go down. Yes, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the amount of calories you move when you're not at rest, just moving around during your day, perhaps driving the car, vacuuming, watching TV, it's going to go down. Your body's trying to conserve energy, but that is all part of the calories out equation. And not only that, if you lose muscle, you're sitting around, you're not working out, you have less muscle mass, your BMR, that can also go down. But if you continue to eat less and you don't listen to those cravings, perhaps you have my cookbook, you're eating those low-calorie, delicious foods so you're not as hungry. You know, for those big eaters, you eat enough protein, lots of volume, and because of that, you're less hungry. That's why this book makes it so much easier to lose weight. You're not as hungry, easier to stick to your diet, and it won't even feel like a diet. Why? Because you're eating foods you love, foods you enjoy. They're simply made lower in calories.
More than 95% of people will go back to their baseline and many go above it. They sort of rebound back.
And so he says, well, 95% of diets fail. Yeah, I've said that in probably 200 videos. But just because most diets fail doesn't mean that calories in, calories out doesn't work. It just means you're going about it the wrong way. Most people, they just say, oh, it's New Year's, time to starve myself. They go on a dramatic weight loss program and they run out of willpower. Why? Because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what foods to eat, when to eat them, and why. And how many of the 95% of people that diets fail have read my Circle Diet book? Probably hardly any. And so if you don't know how to lose weight, you don't know what to do, you've yo-yo dieted in the past, I strongly suggest you get the Circle Diet book. This book might take only 6 hours to read. It's my life's work. I was a school teacher. I explained it simple. You'll know exactly what to do on day one. What to do right now. Read the book. You can go about on your way.
I'm not going on a dramatic diet, but I'm going to just try and reduce by 10% my calories. In the old theory was supposed to make you lose weight. Well, it's virtually impossible, even professionals, to count calories.
And so he says in the old theory, you reduce your calories perhaps by 10%. But, well, most people, they can't track calories. But does that mean that calories in, the calories out doesn't work? Of course not. And so you can try to track calories. Most people have no clue what they're doing. Even if they're using MyFitnessPal, all these various apps, they don't know. Rather than that, why not just switch a meal? Start eating one of my recipes from the book. You don't have to eat all of them. One a day, it's enough to lower your calories. And because you're full, you're automatically going to eat fewer calories. Think of it. If you're full, are you really going to keep eating? Well, you might if you force feed, but why would you do that?
They're not very accurate for a start. Everything on the packet, you have to weigh everything. In restaurants now, we're supposed to have these calorie counts. They're plus or minus about 30%.
Yeah, we get it. Labels lie. It's hard to measure foods you eat at restaurants, but doesn't mean calories in, calories out doesn't work. That's like saying exercise doesn't help you lose weight. Well, because when you go on a treadmill, you don't know how many calories you're burning because sometimes the treadmill's off. So, doesn't mean you can't burn calories. If you're out running in the woods, you don't know exactly how many calories you burned. You don't have a watch. You don't know how far you went. You just went for a run. You think that doesn't help you burn calories, that it won't help you lose weight? Of course it will. Just because it's not posted on social media doesn't mean that the exercise didn't count. It still works. It's going to help you lose weight.
Portion size makes such a huge difference to it that and it's been shown in the US to be a worthless exercise anyway.
Well, guess what? You don't even need to. And so do you know what I tell people to do? Weigh yourself. Every morning after you take a poop, weigh yourself. Take the median weight of the week, the middle number. Crosses out the highs, the lows, gets rid of those outliers, they're called in statistics. And from week to week, compare that median weight. If it's going up, you're in a calorie surplus. That's right. If your weight keeps going up, you're eating more calories than you need. And if your weight is staying the same, you're eating at maintenance. And if it's going down, you're in a calorie deficit. Everyone can do it. All you need is a scale. And so even if you're not tracking your calories, if you're losing weight, it means you're in a calorie deficit. That's how it works.
So everyone is an individual. And this is another thing we need to move away from this one-size-fits-all guidelines.
Yeah, who said one size fits all? I never said everyone needs to eat 2,500 or 2,000 or 1,800. If you're not happy with how you look because you're obese right now, this is the secret. You ready for it? Eat less, move more. It's that simple. Stop overcomplicating it. Oh, it's hormones. It's gut microbiome. It's this, it's that. It's anything but my fault. I don't have any blame for it. I like to blame all other people, or I'll just love my body, all of it flopping around. Or you can love it enough to lose some weight, to be healthy. Exercise.
The whole calorie counting assumption means that it doesn't matter what form that calorie is. It has the same effect in your body, fat calories or carb calories or...
No one said all the different macros have the same effect on the body. I think we all understand that proteins and carbs and fats, they act differently. That protein builds muscle, that if all you ate was carbs and fats, you wouldn't build a lot of muscle. That you need a variety of foods. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is if you're not losing weight, you need to burn off more calories or eat fewer of them.
But in America, where they gave people identical meals. One was homemade and one was ultra processed. The group with the ultra processed foods overate about 200 calories every day.
And so how does that prove anything? If anything, it proves that calories in, calories out doesn't work. He just said there was a study and there were two different groups. The same calories in the foods, but one was processed and one was more natural. And the processed foods, they ate 200 calories more than the natural ones. And so what does that mean? It means that the ones eating processed foods ate more calories and therefore they gained more weight. And so in the end, was it not calories in, calories out? He just disproved himself. He just proved I'm right, he's wrong. Calories in, calories out. If one food makes you eat more of it and you consume more calories, you're going to gain more weight. If a different food makes you eat fewer calories, you're going to eat less of it and therefore lose weight.
They kept coming back to the buffet for more. Yes, the same calories, but the effect on the body meant they were hungrier.
Yeah, and so when I eat popcorn instead of chips, I'm more full on the popcorn in comparison to the chips. When I eat the chips, I need to eat more calories. When I eat the popcorn, I eat fewer calories. More signals to the brain to eat, less signals. It all comes down to calories in, calories out. Whatever you need to do to get into that deficit, that is what's going to work. Whatever is long-term and sustainable for you, whatever that diet may be, even if it's keto, carnivore, intermittent fasting, you name it, whatever that is for you, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight.
Why is that?
It could be that you get absorbed much quicker, so you get a big sugar rush. The nutrients get in to your body in a way faster than they should do in nature.
And so can you see, he actually understands it. He just doesn't know how to explain it right. Well, if you eat slower, it takes 20 minutes for your body to recognize that it's full. And so those signals get sent. And so slower eating helps you lose weight. Of course it does. How fast can you eat chips, ice cream, Haagen-Dazs, pizza? In comparison, salad, popcorn. Do you know how long it takes to eat 2,000 calories from popcorn and salad? A long time, trust me, a long time. But pizza and Haagen-Dazs, matter of minutes.
You can see how that just blows the calorie idea out, that the calories in equals calories out. Everything's...
I mean, really? Oh, that just blows the calories in, calories out equation out of the water. It proves it. How did it prove anything? It proves you're a moron.
What's really interesting is that, so 1 in 4 people eating an identical muffin of identical calories overeat by this, another 10% that day.
And so he says calories in, calories out doesn't work because if you give a group of people muffins, well, some people, it triggers them to want to eat more later in the day. And so one group, they eat more calories and so they gain more weight. And so you see, calories in, calories out doesn't work. It just proved it works. One group ate more food, more calories. That group gains more weight. Why? Because of calories in, calories out. They ate more food later in the day. Had they not eating more calories later in the day, perhaps they took G-Shred, a fat burner that reduces your appetite. Well, if you had a lower appetite and you ate less food, it would help you to be in a calorie deficit and then you'd lose weight.
Stop obsessing about calories and start thinking about food much more as quality and what it does.
And so he wants people to see the light and to stop worrying about calories and just worry about quality. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Quality food is in fact important. Of course it is. But in the end, if you are trying to lose weight, even if you eat all quality, healthy foods, if you're eating too much of it, you're still going to lose weight. It's calories in, calories out. And so that's my only bone to pick here. It's that calories in, calories out is right. I'm not saying you should just eat junk. I'm not saying it's all about if it fits your macros. You should just eat ice cream for PRs. I preach all 4 food groups, low calorie dense foods, lots of fruits and vegetables, healthy proteins, healthy fats. And so I preach all of those things. And on top of that, I say calories in, calories out. Because you eat too much of a good thing, well, you're still going to gain weight.
Anything that says low calorie, means they've had to add in lots of artificial sweeteners or protein extracts or something else is also a big danger sign.
And so really, is Diet Pepsi really that much worse than regular Pepsi? Well, regular Pepsi, 150 calories, Diet Pepsi, 5 calories. You can argue with me that the artificial sweeteners are not as good for you as water, which I would tend to agree. But I can also argue back that if you switch from drinking regular pop to Diet Pop, it's going to help you to lose weight. Why? Because calories in, calories out. Because if you lower your calories by 145 in switching to that Diet Pop, you've just consumed fewer calories. And so unless you replace those calories with something else, you're in fact going to lose weight.
Low in fat means they've replaced the natural fat with something else that's cheaper.
And low in fat does not mean that they've replaced the fat with something else. And so when I drink skim milk, which has a lot less fat than homogenized or 2% milk, it doesn't mean they're taking out the fat and adding in more sugar. It doesn't mean that. It could just mean there's less fat in it. It doesn't have to be that they've added something to make it cheaper or whatever. And so when you're at the grocery store, don't think, oh my goodness, this is low fat, I can't get it. Don't think that. Read the label. Just because it's lower in fat doesn't mean they've added a ton of sugar and made it less healthy.
Appearance of healthiness, it's still got lots of additives in it. Those cereal packets have added vitamins in it, but they're often in a very poor form.
And don't get me started on cereal. For the most part, cereal's junk. It's just tons added sugar, almost all of them. They're not that great. And for me, it's a trigger food. When I open that box of cereal, of which I haven't bought in a very long time, I can eat the whole thing. And so my advice, out of sight, out of mind. And so rather than having the cereals and the chips and the junk in the house, keep it away. I'm not saying you can never eat it. Just don't have it in the house. And if it is in the house, at least put it in the pantry. Don't have it in full display all the time. Every time you open the freezer, go to the kitchen, the table, you see chocolates and so on, you're going to be tempted to eat it. And so put it away. Keep it out of sight. Make things easier for you. That's called being proactive.
Never have orange juice. That's a really unhealthy drink for everybody.
He suggests don't have that glass of orange juice. I've said it for years. When I was a school teacher 25 years ago, I would teach the kids, rather than drinking juice, have the apple. It's so much healthier. Parents got mad. Why are you telling my kids they shouldn't drink so much juice? I'm like, because the apples and oranges are better. It's full of sugar. It's better to have apples and oranges and grapes and fruit and vegetables rather than squeezing all the fiber out and drinking the juice.
So I think they do go hand in hand, that if you realize there are these individual differences, you realize it's not as simple as you've been told. It's not that fats are evil. It's not that calories are bad. It's much more nuanced.
And so there you have it. Who you agree with? Does calories in, calories out ultimately decide if you lose weight? Or can you eat anything you want, long as it's healthy, and you're going to lose weight? Let me know in the comment section. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Dr. Tim Spector? What are your thoughts on what we discussed? Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm, like the video if you liked it. Please watch one of those two bloops. Follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IB And as always, the cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, phone consults, or any of the HTLT supplements or the clothing line, use code Greg, 10% off. Click the link in the description. And until next time, I am out.